Very overwhelming. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm thinking that, oh, it's CNA, I'm just gonna take care of a few patients, like 2 or 3. Baby, they gave me 10 patients my first day. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a one-on-one with me and you guys, my subscribers. I haven't really been consistent, as you guys have seen within the past 2 years. I just kind of wanted to give you guys a life update on what's going on with me. I got a lot of requests and a lot of comments saying, Christy, can you give us a story time? Can you give us a life update? Like, what's going on? What's new? So yeah. So let me start. The beginning of 2020, this is way before like the pandemic, this was like January. I, wanted to do something different. I wanted to go into a new field. You guys know I love beauty, I love makeup, I love wigs. And you guys know that I was a full-time YouTuber for about 4 years. I don't know if you guys know that, but I'm telling you now, I was a full-time YouTuber for 4 years. I did not have any outside job. YouTube was my career for a good 4 years. Within the last year of me, having YouTube as my career, I lived with roommates. Towards the beginning of 2019, I moved out with roommates. It just wasn't working out for me. It was a great experience. Like, I never experienced living on my own, honestly. I never experienced living on my own. I was about 27 when I finally moved out on my own. I can just say I'm just very sheltered. I was always very sheltered growing up. So I've always just stuck close to my family. And that's why I stayed until I can get my, my own place, etc., etc. That's what I did. It was a great experience. I felt like I grew as a person because I'm so to myself and because I suffer from anxiety and depression and all that other stuff. So I'm always to myself. So it was an experience to actually live, and I lived with 5 people. It was big, like upstairs, downstairs, complex in Brooklyn. And I was with 5 roommates, and it was an experience. A lot of them were from all different parts of the world. A lot were students, traveling. I knew this girl, she was from England. She lived with me. It was time for me to move on. The rent was super, super high. And I felt like I was being overcharged for the room that I was living in at the time. And I just was over the roommate thing. I was like, you know what? I can't do this roommate thing. I want to go back home until I figure out my next move. So that's what I did. I went back home. This was like towards the end of 2019, I believe. 2020 comes, January, and I'm home. I'm living home. And I'm like, that is the time that my YouTube wasn't as popping as it used to be. I believe every YouTuber goes through this. I mean, you have some that literally have been popping from day one till today, and that's amazing. That their work ethic is great. But me, I suffer from different things mentally. So it's like, sometimes I want to film, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And on YouTube, you can't be inconsistent, because once you start to become inconsistent, your views start to go lower and lower. The sponsorships that have been filling up my emails start to come slower and slower because you're not filming consistently. So I would say, even though people think that YouTube is like, it's so easy and it's just getting on camera, it's like you have to be in your right mental state to film and to be happy and to show, your viewers what you're doing and to make content. Like, you have to be motivated. And a lot of the times I just wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't really consistent on my channel. Views dropped, sponsorships dropped. YouTube was no longer my full-time thing anymore. I couldn't do it full-time. I had to support myself. So I said, you know what? I want to go into a different field. I've always been into beauty, into makeup, and I can easily get a job with makeup or with wigs. Like, that's super easy because that's what I'm used to. It's what I do. But I wanted to challenge myself, and I wanted to try something totally different from what I usually do. And that's when I thought of, you know what? I want to go into nursing. I said, this will be something that will challenge me. It will be something to get me out my bubble. It will be something where I can meet new people and be around different types of people and really break out of my, anxious things, my anxious ways. I began to look up like nursing schools and how do I even begin to get in this field. So, you know, I did all my research, like anything I do, like literally anything, if I wanna like any little thing, I research the hell out of it. Like 10 pages full of research. I don't know why, I just do it. So I seen that a CNA, I was like, a CNA, certified nursing assistant. A lot of people started off as there just to get their feet wet and to make some money while they're in nursing school. I said, okay, I'm gonna do that. Went to a program, this was like January, February. Found a great affordable program in Manhattan, went to it. It was a 2-month program. Graduated, well, you know, got my certificate, boom. Went to go take the, is it called the state boards? I don't know. Went to go take the CNA exam, passed it on the first try, thankfully, got my license, and started applying to jobs immediately. I got a job in a nursing home. And it was terrible. I literally cried my first day. I cried my first day. Very overwhelming. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm thinking that, oh, a CNA, you know, I'm just gonna take care of a few patients, like 2 or 3. Baby, they gave me 10 patients my first day. 10, okay, 10. I had to wash, bathe, feed, shower, all 10 people, okay? I was overwhelmed, and then mind you, I worked for myself for so long, so I've always been in my own little world, just filming, shopping, traveling, do what I want to do. You know, I don't have to deal with like the workplace, so this was like a big shock to my system, like, whoa, people, coworkers, patients, like, oh my gosh, and it was just a lot, and I cried my first day. So I stuck to it, and I wasn't getting paid that much either. Then I found another CNA job, and they the hours were great. I didn't work every weekend, because at the first job I was working every weekend. The hours were great. They paid way more than the first one I had, because CNAs don't make a lot, but they paid way more. So I was like, yes. Went on the Zoom interview, got it, started working there. Bye-bye to the other place. I was like, goodbye. And that's where I have been ever since. I have been there for a year now. So I'm like a year in, and I actually really love my job. Like, it's overwhelming. It can get overwhelming at times, but because I'm such a pro now, like, I literally finish all my work before, well, for the residents, lunchtime is at like 12, and I finish all my patients before 12. That's how of a pro I am, to the point where I've trained new CNAs, like, I'm at that level. So but yeah, that's where I've been for a year now. After, you know, working as a CNA for a few months or whatever, I said, all right, I want to start going to nursing school. I want to look up nursing schools. There's literally no nurse LP. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to become an LPN first and then become an RN. Only because I don't want to be a CNA for that long. I want to make more money as an LPN and work, you know, because they make way more money than CNAs. And then I can do a bridge program, and LPN to RN bridge program, get my RN. I thought it was like easy breezy, lemon squeezy. No, there's literally one LPN program in New York City. I've researched, there's one. That's it, just one. That one, and then doesn't have the best reviews, but there's only one. Now the RN programs, I had to enroll in community college, because, you know, most of the schools in New York City for RN programs are the bachelor's, which is a 4-year, which you would have to go straight out of high school, which means you would have to have great grades. I was a horrible student. I was a horrible high school student. Don't ask, I was horrible. My grades were not the best. They were not good. I went to a community college. I enrolled, I went back to school. I went for the nursing program. I went to LaGuardia for the nursing program. While I was in school, I was also looking for my own apartment, because I was like living with my mom, and I've been living with my mom since I moved out with roommates since the pandemic started, like the beginning of 2020. And obviously, you know, I want my own place. I want my own apartment. I've never had my own apartment living in New York City. So yeah, look for my own apartment. And there's a site in New York. It's called the Housing Connect. Basically, it gets you like affordable housing, like great buildings in great neighborhoods, great areas, and you pay low rent. I was like, this is perfect. I got picked for an apartment. I was so excited. I sent in at least like 100 pages worth of document to prove that I'm not a scammer. I have a job and I also do YouTube on the side, etc., etc. I had to show them all the receipts and pay stubs and everything. Gave them everything. I'm a hardworking person, okay? It was like towards the last end of me almost getting my dream apartment. And they rejected me. Do you know why they rejected me? Because I was a full-time student. Now, I didn't know that if you were a full-time student, you won't be eligible for Housing Connect to get an affordable housing in New York City. I didn't know that. I'm thinking, okay, I'm a full-time student, but I still work. What's the problem? I can still pay my rent. I don't understand what the issue is. But apparently they have something where you can't be a full-time student and apply for the Housing Connect. Rejected my application. I was so upset. You guys, like that really hit me, because it was like everything was going good in my life. I was enrolled in school in the nursing program, about to get my first own apartment, which would have been perfect. It was like everything was falling into place. And then that happened. I was like, you know what? F this. I'm not doing it anymore. I dropped out of school and I just focused on work. I just worked. And I was just trying to figure out my next move. I said, I need a new start. I need something fresh. I need something new. Like, New York is not for me anymore. I just can't with this city no more. It's not giving me anything. I can't get an apartment. You know, I got a good job, but they don't pay as much as I would like. And I want to further my education and become a nurse, but they don't have many nursing programs. They have one LPN program, super hard to get into, super expensive. I feel like it's way too expensive. And the RN programs, you have to have a bachelor's. If not, you got to go to community college. And it's so hard to get into the nursing program in community colleges. Like, you're not even guaranteed to get in. And that's what they tell you. Like, you can apply, but there's no guarantee that you're going to get into this program. So imagine going to school for 2 years, busting your ass, and you don't even get a seat in the nursing program. I couldn't do it. I had to take a step back. I had to say, what is your next move? Prayed about it. What is your next move? Now, as you guys know, my boyfriend Chad lives in Los Angeles. He lives in LA. I'm still with him. We are great. That is the love of my life. That is the man I want to marry. That is the man I want to have children with, if I'm able to. Yes, we're very much still in love. We're very much still together. We've been together for like 3 years. We make 4 years next year. So everything is going great with that. He lived here in New York throughout the pandemic, like through 2020, because he had came down here to see family, and he got stuck down here because of the pandemic, couldn't travel, etc., etc. He ended up going back to LA because I told you guys that's where he lives. That's where he does his music and stuff. He lives there. So he ended up moving back to LA, and you know, we were just still trying to figure out where we want to build our lives together at. Like, do we want to do New York or do we want to do LA? But because at the time I was going to school here in New York, trying to pursue the nursing, and I was applying for apartments here, I was like, you know what, I'll just be bi-coastal. Like, you know, you'll come visit me in my place in New York, and then I'll come visit you in your place in LA, in LA, and we'll just do that until we, get our finances together better and figure out what's next. Because of me not getting the apartment and dropping out of school, I was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I said, I'm gonna work. I'm not enrolling in anything else in this city. I'm gonna visit my boyfriend. His birthday was actually coming up. His birthday was in November. And I saved up and I said, you know what, babe? I'm gonna come see you. I wanna visit you. I wanna see LA. Because at first I was very like, I'm a New York girl. I'm a New Yorker. I love Sex in the City. Like, I'm a Manhattan girl. I like to take the taxis, live in a nice building with a doorman. That's just me. I'm a New York girl. That's just always been me. I always wanted my dream apartment in a building with a doorman. Beautiful, beautiful, fabulous apartment. Man. His birthday came up. I said, okay, put in my vacation, went to LA. The best experience I've ever had. LA is just so way different than New York. I can't even explain it, but I had so much fun. Seeing my boyfriend in his element made me so happy because he feels so safe and secure in LA. He feels free in LA. There's more opportunities for him out there in LA, and I saw what he was talking about. There's no opportunities for him out here. There's so many opportunities for him out there in LA. So we started talking and I was like, let me look up the nursing program. So I looked up the nurse because I had given up on nursing. I was like, I guess I can't be a nurse because there's no schools that want to take me. You know, the city college, there's no guarantee I'm going to get in. The LPN school, the only one that's here, I don't really like it. It's super expensive. I want options, you know. I researched LPN, well, LVN, because in LA it's LVN programs. In LA, there was so many, like, I could, like, pages of LVN schools in Los Angeles, which I was like, this is amazing, because I don't have to go straight to being a registered nurse, you know, because like I said, my grades are not the best. I can become an LVN and then pursue my RN. When I went to his building, and I was like, oh my goodness, what am I doing in New York City? This is like the weather, amazing. I was like, you know what? I want to challenge myself. I want to live in a whole new state with the love of my life, who he's already settled there. Like, my boyfriend, he's got everything there. He's settled there. He's good. So I have to find a job, which is great, because as a CNA, you can work anywhere. I would just have to, like, transfer my license to a Los Angeles license, but I can still get a job in LA as a CNA because I have a license. So that's a great thing. You know, that's a good thing about being a CNA as well. You'll always get a job anywhere. So I can find a great job, you know, at a nursing home in LA, and I can also go back to school to be an LVN, because they have so many options and so many schools and so many programs. The only thing that I was saying, I was like, I cannot move to LA unless I learn how to drive. There's no way. And my boyfriend said he drives and he has no problem driving me wherever I want, but he's like, you know, I can't be with you all the time, obviously. So you need to learn how to drive. To live out here, you have to know how to drive. So I said, you know what? I've never been somebody that ever had any interest in driving, but I want to know how to drive. I've been taking classes. I have an app on my phone. I've been studying. I know about the roads, chat. I know about the lights. I know about which side to stay on. I know about crossing at the instant. I know everything. Like, I'm doing good. I'm almost there. Probably like in the beginning of next year, I want to take the test and get my permit. And then from there, I'm gonna take driving lessons, and then eventually I want to get my license. So I'm almost there, get my permit, and then I can get my license and I'll be a driver. So that's pretty much what I've been doing now. I've just been saving my money. I've been working, and I've been learning how to drive, because that's the next step. You know, and just focused on becoming a nurse, because that's ultimately the career that I see myself doing for a long time. Like, it's weird because I never thought that I would be into that, but working as a CNA for a year, I can tell you that it's very fulfilling. You don't know how many kisses I get on my hands, how many you're heaven sent, God bless you. Like, to be able to help somebody when they're sick, or, you know, they're really old, they're aging, and they can't do things on their own, they can't eat on their own, they're depressed, to be able to make their day by fixing their hair, fixing their food, and eventually as a nurse treating them, you know, helping them get better. Like, that's all I need. I think that's literally why I'm here. Like, I found my purpose. I still love you guys. I still love my channel. I still love wigs. When I have the energy and I'm not mentally exhausted from work or from anxiety, I try to spit out a video when I have the energy and strength. But sometimes I just don't, because there's so much going on, and that's okay. And I try my best, but definitely starting the new year, I do want to bring you guys with me on the journey. I do want to vlog my experience in LA as much as I can. I'm going to vlog me learning to drive in my first car, and I want a nice, beautiful pink car. Yes, I do. My boyfriend is going to get it for me. I want a beautiful pink car. But anyway, so I want to vlog that, vlog my, you know, me in nursing school, becoming a nurse. I'm going to continue to vlog. I really want to change my channel from, you know, it's always good. I'm still going to slay wigs. I'm still going to send, you know, because I still wear wigs. I'm going to still put you guys onto the newest wigs, etc., etc. But my channel is going to be more adult, more, you know, more grown, more career, you know, driving, traveling, you know, moving to a whole new state, marriage in the future, you know, kids, you know, all of that. that's, I think, the transition my channel is going to start to take in 2022. Thank you guys for being subscribed to me still. If you're still here, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think below, and I will see you guys in my next video.